Hello everyone. Now another meeting and another e-meeting. We are starting for a startup ecosystem that name startuppitches.com, and then after that, under the name of Startup Confederation, that we are started to form that global, especially Asia and Africa startups leaders like mentors and startup supporters and venture capital and even corporate ventures people, especially from the fintech and other area as well, not only fintech and other than the area about startups. We want to combine, collect, connect together all that somehow we are forming a network that who to know each other about startup supporters. We say that this kind of institutions like technoparks and incubation centers and venture capital and angel investor people including. So now we have a program that including startup supporters will introduce themselves, how they support startups, and then secondly, we will focus on the startups, the 6 startups from Africa and Middle East and even Turkey will explain their startups to as pitch to us. They will sort of pitch to us, and then we will have questions and answers from our Startup Confederation members here in Zoom, and then also from YouTube. In the right side of the panel, you will see that your comments and questions can be seen from us, and we like to if you reach us, and then even now one comment reach us that watching from Ghana. Many greetings to Ghana as well. So let me give the voice that to the Ibrahim, Mr. Ibrahim from Ghana, who is co-founder of Startup Confederation, and we are from Ghana to Asia, try to combine Startup Confederation together with Ibrahim Bey and with you also as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the first online tech startup summit organized by Startup Confederation. My name is Ibrahim Misto. I'm the co-founder of the Startup Confederation. I'm an financial and telecom services executive, as well as entrepreneur and investor from lives in and works in Accra, Ghana. I relate myself very well with this event because half of my age I spent in Asia and half of my age I spent in Africa. So I'm very glad to be part of this event where we see startups from both Asia and Africa pitching collide in our event. On behalf of the Startup Confederation, I welcome you all again, and I wish that you will find this event interesting and beneficial to you all. Before we start, I'll just give you a quick overview and outline about what we are going to expect in this event. So give me a few seconds, please, if I can share my screen with you so I can take you through that quickly. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I saw.
Okay, very good. So quickly, just a quick overview about what Startup Confederation is about. It's a global community where startup supporters from global VCs, from technoparks, corporate ventures, technology providers, meet startup founders in events like what we have today, like the startup events, or in LinkedIn groups that we have, WhatsApp groups and others. They will meet all together and then collaborate and add value. Startup Confederation is newly established from global community around the world, mainly now from Africa and Asia. And we can be reached at those websites, startupconfederation.com, startpitches.com, and startecosystem.com. And then we have also LinkedIn group, Startup Confederation on LinkedIn. Please feel free to join us. You are most welcome. Today, after a quick intro from my colleagues at Startup Confederation, we are going to have 4 global leaders from startup supporters, And we start with Maya Al-Haji. She's a market growth manager at KnowledgeNet. Is a software company and firm in Saudi with offices in Dubai and Egypt. They have an interesting, I met Maya recently, and then she explained that they have a very interesting value proposition to fintech startups. So she's going to talk to us more about that and what they have in place for startups to help them build their MVPs. We have Seth Heaven from GSB Labs. GSB Labs is a global innovation platform and accelerator in Silicon Valley and Boston in US. I had the pleasure to meet some of GSB Labs team in March this year, luckily just before lockdowns of the airports in Silicon Valley. And then we met at the co-working spaces, went through what they call Passport Portal, which they extend with all its resources to startups. So I'm sure Seth going to take us through all these value propositions startups they have in place. We have Roberto also, Grucci from Microsoft. Roberto heads startups for Microsoft for MEA region, and he's going to tell us more about what Microsoft has in place for startups. And then last but not least, we have Amjad, who's the president of Startups Council in Jordan, and he's going to talk to us more about what they are doing in terms of the startup ecosystem and support in Jordan. And then next hour would be the pitches. It will be 5-minute pitch plus 5 minutes Q&A. We have 6 startups for today, 3 from Africa and 3 from Asia. We have Chala from Turkey with Mina Pay, a fintech. We have Mubarak with Bizo Money, fintech from Ghana. We have Benjamin with startup called Elf Engineering in health. We have Isidor in the mobility with Starbucks startup. We have Arif also from Turkey with a startup that has to do with virtual reality. And then we have Haitham from Lebanon with a green energy startup. So very interested, very passionate pitches. Please look forward for that. And then this will be followed by 5 minutes Q&A for each. And then the last hour will be opening the floor for general question and answers to the startup supporters and to the pitchers as well, and the founders, as well as the startup confederation. So the event is live on YouTube, and it's also live on our website, startupconfederation.com, startpitches.com, startecosystem.com. Thank you, and hopefully you will find this very interesting, as I mentioned. I'll now give the opportunity to my colleagues in Startup Confederation to say maybe a quick intro, 2 minutes each, and we'll start with ladies first. Amanda, maybe starting with you, tell us more about what you're doing and what you are looking forward to from this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We are very excited for the first event on the Startup Confederation. I think that this is an exciting opportunity. My name is Amanda Donahue. I am based out of Nairobi, Kenya, and I specialize in microlending across Africa. So I'm very pleased to be a part of the organization and to hear the pitches today. I think, startups our future, and there's so many interesting ideas that are coming up right now. So I look forward to the pitches. I'm very excited and look forward to the questions and answers following. Thank you, Ibrahim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thanks a lot. Mughis Shaukat, also our colleague and Startup Confederation. Maybe Mughis, floor is yours. Quick intro from your end.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, and hello guys. Everybody is okay. I'm guessing this new normal has already made us go with the new normal strategies. One of them is coming up with this online and startup platform, which is, a very unique initiative by a joint initiative by all of us, as a matter of fact. And I myself, equally excited as Amanda and all others are. Basically, I'll be looking at the ideas and trying to pitch in my expert opinion from the expertise of entrepreneurial ecosystem and what entrepreneurial system and entrepreneurs need to meet in terms of running their upcoming ideas or their ongoing business much more successfully, particularly in these new age times. And of course, how to technology orient vis-a-vis my financial technology expertise. So I'm all in for it, and I look forward for a very exciting session and very exciting pitches.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mughis. Going to Wahida. and Kenya as well. Wahida, can you please give us a quick intro from your end?
Hi, my name is Wahida. I'm in Mombasa, but we also operate out of Nairobi, Kenya. We've just started operations for the first Islamic FinTech hub out of Kenya. The difference with us and other hubs is that we focus on Islamic finance. We currently have 10 startups that we're working with, and the journey so far for the past 6 months has been very interesting and exciting. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We are pleased also to have you on board. Going now to Tori, to West Africa, Ivory Coast. Tori. You are on mute, Tori. If you can unmute, please, so we'll be able to hear you.
Okay, sorry. Thank you very much. My name is Tori Sori. I'm from Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan, and I'm the CEO of Dexterity Africa and also the co-founder of Africa Islamic FinTech Hub. So Africa Islamic FinTech Hub is and then which is focused on Islamic fintech solution for the Islamic finance industry. So we have started now, and now we are focusing on different activities, and that's why this new activity is very interesting for us to know how things are going on. And we think that it will be very exciting, and we hope that after that we'll have many opportunities to share also our experience and idea with others. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Julie. Thanks for my colleagues. I'm sure there is no one else. I think I've covered all. Thanks a lot. For all of you, it's nice to hear your perspective. Global leaders from Africa, from Asia, thanks a lot. So I think now we can move to our next speakers, to the startup supporters, and then starting with Maya. So Maya, good afternoon at your end. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you guys?
Good,
I'm too very excited to be part of this summit. Really, I congratulate you to be able to have everybody together in such a maybe short notice. I see all the diversity and it makes it more and more rich. I'm very happy to see all these supporters for FinTech, and this is a new market that we are all, everybody here is responsible to grow and to encourage. So everybody will be a winner from the beginning to the end, inshallah. If I may share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, let me start with introducing my company. Okay, as Brahim already told you, we are based and founded in Saudi Arabia. We've been here for 20 years now, serving for big industries, banking industries, big banks over here. Over the 20 years, we've been in the market serving all the product of those banks. For all the security matters, all the financial transaction. So as you know, it was really a very challenging route that we've been going through. And over the years, we acquired a lot of expertise over the internet, the technology, and what have you. Last year, actually, we came up with the idea that this products that we are working with, been working with for 20 years, and we developed a lot of products on it for the financial institution. It's time for us to go to see the startup market. For that reason, we were very excited to start with the FinTech, because this is where our technology and finances expertise come together. We developed this equation and this initiative to help the FinTech startups. So we started studying actually what the FinTech startup are going through. Let me share with you the life cycle of the FinTech startup from our view, and I'll be happy to have any comments on this. So What we have is excited financial entrepreneurs that are very excited to have their MVPs and pilot to the market. At this point, we see them all going to the want to go to the market very fast with to test their view, to test their market value, and to see if there's any potential changes that might be to their product. At this point, those entrepreneurs usually need some technical support, 1 or 2 supporters maybe, to have their product on the market. Once we have that, the product is now online. We already acquired all the market information. We want our product to be on the market as soon as possible and as fast and as accurate as possible. We see them struggling with the technical resources that they have, or maybe they want to outsource. At this point, it's very important to have a very good communication between
I'm guessing Maya is having
Yes.
connectivity problems.
Hi, Maya. Yeah.
Yes, voice is not coming now.
Picture still again.
Maybe we can continue next our speaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's take Seth, and then maybe when Maya resume, then we can take her again. Seth, can you please? Yeah, up to you, please. Yeah, hi again. Nice to have you. Please tell us more about yourself, what GSV Labs have for startups.
Certainly. Thank you for having me. It's certainly excited to kind of be participating and tell the GSV Labs story. My name's Seth Halbin. I run the the East Coast team of GSV Labs, and would love to just kind of share who we are and kind of what our mission is. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Ibrahim, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. So GSV Labs stands for Global Silicon Valley. Our mission is to empower entrepreneurs and democratize innovation around the world. And so how we do that through physical innovation centers as well as digital products. And so our innovation centers are founder-friendly co-working spaces, meaning provides all the resources and flexible terms for early stage companies to grow their business and their footprint physically. We provide community and culture, and what that is a community of peers. So all early stage, for the most part, technology startups in one place. Access to events, we do around 300, 400 events in our physical spaces when you could do events in physical spaces. And then structured programming, so things like CEO roundtables, CTO roundtables, pitch nights, workshops, mentor meetings, and things you would traditionally see in Accelerator, but very much in an on-demand fashion. And so we've got 170 plus early stage startups working out of our spaces, over 100,000 square feet, 700 members, and currently 3 locations, Boston, Silicon Valley, as well as Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania opening up next year. And then we have a digital side of our business. And so that's our Passport product. It's really, we're kind of quickly building one of the world's largest persistent communities of entrepreneurs. We have 20,000 entrepreneurs on our platform, 2,000 startups, has access to over 200 mentors, $800,000 in discounted or free tools and services for growth stage technology companies, access to hundreds of guides and templates and best practices for startups, as well as 450 investors on the platform. And then we have Passport OS, which is powering innovation organizations around the ecosystems around the globe. And so a couple of those are BioLabs, UPenn, the Global Leadership Foundation, King Saud University. And that product's been in the market about 1 year. And we'll go through what each of these are. And so if you look at our innovation centers, in Silicon Valley, we have 44,000 square feet. It's home to 120 companies, 515 members. Those companies have raised $200 million, doing around 120 events a year. In Boston, we have 22,000 square feet with 75 companies, 400 members, around $150 million in venture capital raised with 103 events. we're opening Pittsburgh in 2021 in partnership with the Heinz and Mellon Foundation to really create a centralized hub for innovation and entrepreneurship within Pittsburgh. And then our digital product, Passport. And so Passport is really meant to provide access to resources that have traditionally been available to startups with prestigious venture capital backers or in prestigious accelerator programs, and make them accessible to entrepreneurs anywhere in the world. And so these are mentorship, access to mentorship, investors, resources, perks, community, and events. And so what that is we've curated over $800,000 in what we call perks, are discounted or free services for growth stage technology companies. And so anyone who joins the community can access things like AWS cloud credits, 90% off HubSpot, and just this portfolio of tools that are curated for growth stage technology companies. Many of them are accessible to entrepreneurs anywhere in the globe. We have a content management platform, so best practices, everything from inspiration, ideation, product development, fundraising, relevant articles, example decks, things like that, access to startup pitches. We also facilitate mentor matching. And so we have around 200 world-class mentors on the platform. Entrepreneurs can easily go in there and book virtual meetings with entrepreneurs with expertise in product development, engineering, fundraising, go-to-market, globalization, and filterable and searchable based on areas of expertise. It's meant to be a large community. And so you have your kind of company profiles as well as your members. You can access and engage with any members on the platform. As well as we have 450 investors on the platform. So all the entrepreneurs on it have the opportunity to participate in what's called our VC Connect, which is the way we engage with kind of an investment community on the platform and provide access to kind of proprietary deal flow. It has over 200 institutional venture capital firms, as well as family offices, angel investors, and really kind of provides deal flow that they otherwise wouldn't be seeing. Again, the ability to access events in the Boston market, in the Silicon Valley market, as well as virtually. And so, an aggregator for really some of the best and most kind of premium events going on in the US market. And it's all powered by Slack. And so the underlying technology of the community side is via Slack, so you can engage and really interact with entrepreneurs from around the globe in a digital environment. And so that's our Passport product that's directly for entrepreneurs. And then we have our Passport product, which is Passport OS, which is for organizations, and it really allows them to unlock and digitize their innovation ecosystems. And so it provides a customizable individual kind of experience for their platform. Again, it pulls together kind of the ability to have talent, mentorship, and expert advice, connectedness, market reach, knowledge, capital, enablement, and kind of put it all in the same place. And so to date, we're powering around 15 innovation ecosystems. And so these three kind of pieces of business all work very collaboratively and help us kind of support our mission of empowering entrepreneurs globally. And so that's us. Any questions? My contact is seth@gsvlabs.com. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Seth. Thank you. You made it within 6 minutes, and the message is very clear. Thanks a lot. I encourage everyone to try the Passport. Myself, I tried it, and there is a lot of, so you can access it even with free content, and then if you love it, you can subscribe with the premium content. Very interesting and rich content, very interesting events. You can even watch some recorded events digitally, and then great resources for entrepreneurs. So within the next 3 to 4 minutes, we just open the floor for any questions to Seth, please. Feel free.
May I? I'm sorry. I mean, if
Yes.
nobody's going, then I may try, if that's all right, Seth.
Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Seth, thank you very much. This is fantastic. I mean, I had a chance to go through the slides last night, which you shared in the group. I mean, I was flabbergasted what you guys are doing back at your end. One question is, because you see, the region that I operate from is a region that is going hard on economic diversification, and one of the prime focus to reach that economic diversification is making entrepreneurial preferences a prominent pole of the overall strategy. Is this only US centric, or this model, or you guys would like to operate on a similar tone or with similar amplification, of course, adjusted with the local routines in the sectors like the Middle Eastern sectors or the GCC sectors, Seth? I mean, I'm interested to know that.
Yeah, and it's a great question. And so our community platform and our goal is to build a global community of entrepreneurs. And so it is very much a global product. We have partners that say, hey, we're trying to replicate this and we want it to just be our region and just be focused on the region. And that was kind of where our Passport OS product came. So we have the opportunity to provide a tech infrastructure for people who want to build out collaborative startup communities in their own region. Our goal and our vision is a global community of entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs can learn from everywhere, have a very diverse perspective, as well as really kind of provide this global opportunity. And so our vision is global. Some by nature, we're found in the US and we built out the resources starting in the US, and, call it 60-70% of them are available globally. You start thinking about the cloud service providers, the Amazons, the Microsofts, the Googles, these are services that are truly provided globally. Then there's a subsection of ones that are only applicable from like the credit cards and things like that to the US. But our vision is a global entrepreneurship community. And quite frankly, we think innovation and entrepreneurship, the next wave, a large part is going to come outside of the US.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, just to add on, I mean, why I asked this, because, the market I'm in, let's say, I mean, it's Oman, the market, which is a relatively closed economy and still tending to open up. The government, the new regime in particularly, is really going hard on promoting entrepreneurial activities. But the other day, Roberto and myself were, engaged on LinkedIn, and we were sharing, what we need to do in terms of doing our studies on entrepreneurial ecosystems. He shared my link, I shared my output to him. What we, at least from my end, what I did a huge study on, a very, very national level study on entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. One of the huge myths, there are so many weaknesses, but one of the the first weakness is the government is not aware of the weaknesses. So one of the weakness is the exact system that you guys are doing at your end, but in a localized version. Because remember, this is still a closed economy that is tending to open up. So if I come and ask you to completely replicate your model in Oman, for example, results may not reach the potentials. So a localized version where it can first create and suffice the national dynamics, the national demand. I think this is what I'll be very, very interested, Seth, to perhaps, go a one-on-one with you and see how we can craft and how we can orient this regime to be introduced to regions like Oman. And when I say Oman, GCC is no different to Oman, the Middle East and the Gulf markets. So I think this is very, very exciting what you guys are doing. But if replicated, because funding, there's no issue of funding over here, but the skill level, the ecosystem is not a congenial one like what you guys have in US, for example. So I think, Seth, I mean, you could be a huge handful to markets like this.
Yeah, no, and we'd certainly love to pick up the conversation. And what's truly kind of unique about what we're doing is we're building and managing a global community, and therefore when we kind of spin up or can work with partners and provide instances, we can leverage portions of our community as well. So the resource, the content, the perks, the things that are relevant that you might have a shortcoming on, we can kind of supplement with the stuff we have built. And so we'd love to pick up the conversation, but we're excited. We're seeing awesome innovation and entrepreneurship popping up all over the world, which is again, especially excited to kind of be here and hear some of the pitches, as it's truly remarkable. And I think the current situation with kind of COVID is just accelerating the pace of digitization and kind of entrepreneurship and the focus on that.
Cool. I have to jump in, guys. Thank you so much. Because of the time, we have to jump to the next speaker, but thanks a lot. Interesting questions. Thanks, Seth, for all the feedbacks. We're gonna have another round of Q&As to you maybe in the last 1 hour, so people will have the chance to still ask you, except Mughis, because he's already taken the whole 5 minutes now for himself. So great stuff. Next to Roberto Grucci, who's the MD for Startup MEA at Microsoft. Hi, Roberto.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Pleasure to meet you all. Thank you, Ibrahim, Mustafa, for inviting. Looking forward to the conversation. If you want me to jump into the presentation, let me quickly share the screen. There we go. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Microsoft for Startups. Quickly on my background, I joined Microsoft recently to lead the Microsoft for Startups team across Middle East and Africa. I'm based here in Dubai. I've been living in this region in Dubai since now 7 years. My background, I've been working in technology in Google for almost 10 years. Now at Microsoft, I've been working in a startup myself. I'm a co-founder of a micro VC fund as well, so very passionate about the entrepreneurship ecosystem and the startup ecosystem, especially across emerging markets. So in minutes, the objective is just to present you a little bit high level what Microsoft for Startups is. Then, I'd like also to comment and connect to the questions that Mugiz asked, because it's exactly at the center of what we are set to do here across this region, specifically Middle East and Africa, which is pretty much emerging markets, and the drivers of growth here are very different, and the relationship with government and what you were saying, Mugiz, the conditions here are very different than in the US or globally. The starting point for Microsoft is that honestly, Microsoft used to scare startups. But we started receiving some encouraging feedback, like the one you see here. And it's encouraging because it means that the job that we have been doing to set the right conditions are recognized by the market, by the ecosystem. And this is encouraging because there is a lot of work we are doing to develop a proposition that makes sense for startups. And let me tell you why these comments, these feedbacks start coming in. Is the long story short is that Microsoft used to have some programs that honestly were all about giving out credits. So very much tech focus, no business differentiation, no business acceleration, resources were scattered. So, sorry?
No, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No worries. So the challenge with that. So when Satya moved to CEO role, and you can feel it from outside. I mean, you see that he started changing the culture within the company, putting the company on a new trajectory, and have a look at the way we are looking at partnership today. The openness that Microsoft has today is completely different. And when he looked into startups, so the main thing was, these programs that we had before were not really adding value. So what he challenged the teams was, as he did for the culture, is we should look within Microsoft, what are the assets that we can extend to entrepreneurs and startups to add value to them. So I love that, because I don't believe in credits, honestly, from being a cloud vendor. Yes, if you're a tech company, getting $5,000, $10,000 in 2 years, it's not making a big difference. It's not where you get the value for building, something that is sustainable and successful in the long term. It's more about adding value. So that's why we have, we had a very differentiated approach to the startup ecosystem. We talk about business and technical acceleration, but it's mainly focused on startups where we can take them on a journey where we can give access to technology on one hand, but also access to markets, and access to markets in a meaningful way, because most of the players you hear in this region, when we talk access to markets, they mainly refer to introductions. To me, having leading sales teams, introductions is a nice to have. It's great. I don't reject that. But if I don't have a process in place with a sequence of events to get to close a deal, to me, we are not talking about markets or customers, right? So, and sales. So we built a program where we can take B2B startups with SaaS solutions on the marketplace, from the marketplace becoming transactable, from transactable becoming co-sell ready. So sell with Microsoft with incentive in the system for salespeople or partners to help access to corporates and close deals. This is what we call the co-sell. So this is the value proposition. And basically, as I told you, there are two sides of the program. One is access to technology, where of course we can extend assets from Azure, but also other solutions that we have within Microsoft in terms of products, plus a layer of proactive services to help design the right architecture, scalability of the architecture, cost optimization, etc. On the other side, we have programs to help with acceleration on the business and sales side, with a journey that we define to help moving startups from being market ready to being more enterprise ready. in a meaningful way. And we started, seeing the value of this. If you think about it, that globally we have now more than $1 billion in pipeline for revenues from co-sell deals. So deals that we are helping co-sell ready startups in our program to potentially close is huge, and this number is growing as we speak. So this is where we see the value that with the assets that Microsoft has today in terms of access to customers, large network of partners, worldwide presence, and solid technology to back up. So we think we are well positioned to help startups in the ecosystem. And so basically, how we are helping startups to sell with Microsoft, it all starts with a dedicated onboarding to make sure that startups build a solid foundation when it comes to technology, when it comes to the architecture, when it comes to product, but also when it comes to structuring people and culture. So how teams should be looking at selling effectively and structuring for that is important. So then, in fact, we move to a guided enterprise selling to have startups, succeed into what it is to be enterprise sales, to do enterprise sales. It's an area where we see a lot of the startups, especially in this region, are not able to tackle. And the region is very different than the global other ecosystems. So, if you think about, most of the corporates here are not digitized yet. So B2B startups, maybe we have great founders with great ideas, better than the US sometimes for how smart they are, but they don't have a market to access because clients are not digitized yet. So they cannot scale where they are. So they need to try to find alternative solution to do that. So we think we can add a lot of value in helping corporates on one side with a broader Microsoft to digitize, at the same time giving the right tools and knowledge to founders across this region to do enterprise sales the right way. And then, of course, align with internally with the incentives with our partners or sellers to make sure that the process is going to work, and then help startups to access markets also in other regions, leveraging the global network we have as a company. So, at the end of the day, we are here to help. We want to move the conversation. We love when we move the conversation from credits to value, because this is where I think founders are really seeking support from partners that have a global presence rather than pure players that want to drive their own agenda when it comes to purely infrastructure. The other point to connecting to Mugiz that I would like to connect to your questions before. So I agree with you. This ecosystem is very different. So here, for example, if I look at the UAE, you mentioned the GCC more or less is the same. I would slightly disagree on that. There are differences even within the GCC, even when it comes to access to funding and access to markets. But one common theme is that this region is very government-led. So here governments have the power potentially to change policy very quickly. So this is one thing that we should push to leverage more, to take this ecosystem to the next level. Also, there is little culture of failure, not just culture, but also mechanism in terms of if you go bankruptcy here in the UAE, it's not nice. It's not the same thing as you go bankruptcy in France or in the UK or in the US. So so there are many things that have to be done in this ecosystem if we really want to take this ecosystem to the next level and start exporting globally from here technology and the talent that is here, and now they have to migrate and go to other countries if they want to scale first. So with that, happy to answer any questions and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Roberto. Thanks a lot. Very interesting presentation. Actually, it's very exciting to see how Microsoft leadership is transforming their value proposition into more value-based, and that's hopefully gonna make more impact in terms of on founders and on startups. So all the best in this journey. And I think we go more into details about that value proposition. It's more high level, maybe in the Q&A session. I would love to park your Q&A session into the general one, because unfortunately we've exhausted all the slots. So I would love to move now to the next speaker, just for the sake of time. And then I'll go to Amjad. Amjad from Jordan, heading Jordan Geo startups in Jordan, Middle East. So please, Amjad, the floor is yours. Welcome again, and please tell us more about what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, Brahim. I'm really happy to be on the first event for the Startups Confederation. If you allow me to share my screen. Okay, basically, I'm the president. I'm Amjad Swais, the president of Startup Joe Council in Jordan. I'm a startup. I run a startup named OlaHub. I'm the co-founder of it. Startup Joe Council was founded in the year 2018. Basically, we thought that we want to be sort of an intermediary between the startups and the whole ecosystem and try to leverage support for our startups, which is Jordanian-centric, to innovate, disrupt, and scale. Basically, we're not an incubator, we're not a fund, but we work through partnerships and collaboration with all stakeholders to bring the best to our startups. How do we work? Basically, we work with innovation hubs. We have relationship with more than 20 plus incubators and excellence centers in Jordan. We work with funds themselves, with R&D labs and centers, with governments like the Ministry of Digital Economy and Entrepreneurship, the Jordan Investment Commission, the Jordanian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in addition to more than 400 Jordanian startups, which is, 99% of them are ICT enabled. What we do, we focus on many pillars. We try to render policy support, mentorship, facilitation, community support, data and info center, events and initiatives. But the main thing we're trying to reach is basically to bring a status for our startups where they can benefit from many named perks, this is what we're trying to do in Jordan. If we look at it, basically, it's the Startup Joe status is a 3-year program for starters. We have a targeted approach to benefit the startup directly through general support. When we say general support, as you know, we try to bring in certain services to startups on a group level, like group insurance, validation services, mentorships, etc. We try to do business services for them in terms of human resources, accounting, finance, data. We try to help them to have better access to market. Being part of INTAJ, which is the Information and Communication Technology Association in Jordan, this gives us leverage through having channels to regional, let's say, peers that could help our Jordanian startups to scale in Jordan and outside Jordan. We focus a lot on providing infrastructure services for our startups, which is sort of indirect investment for them, saving them money through leveraging on INTAJ members to provide services to our startups on a discounted or term financing. We also offer financial services through, again, our partners like valuation support services, smart funding, and matchmaking. The way we work, as I said, we are not an incubation program. Basically, we look at ourselves as a concierge service where, whatever a startup needs, we try to leverage their needs within the ecosystem or stakeholders in Jordan. A very good example of what we are trying to do with our partners is basically creating the initiatives that directly support the startups, like the Tech Aid initiative in Jordan, this is ongoing. It has been recently launched. The idea of the Tech Aid is basically to allow for creativity of startups to provide solution to the COVID-19 era problems and onward. The Blue Ocean Council is basically a mentorship program where we render business and technical support for our startups. SheTex actually I think it's a sort of a fresh initiative where we're trying to empower women to go into the entrepreneurship landscape and help them to participate more in the business and creativity and innovation. We've created the FinTech Council, the Startup Joe Status Program. The idea, again, what I'm trying to say, we're not an incubator per se, but what we do is work with policymakers, with funds, with stakeholders to bring all the benefits to our startups so they can scale in Jordan and out Jordan. Being part of Intaj is giving us a big push, a big access to the network that it has. Hopefully down the line, once we link the dots in Jordan, we'll work on a trajectory for the region and international markets to create that whole ecosystem. One last thing, through the innovative startups and SMEs funds, we're trying now to develop the passport program that Seth has mentioned. However, to cater for our needs, but this is something that we're looking forward to, where it will connect all the stakeholders in the ecosystem together. Sorry, I'm trying to be, rushing my presentation as much as possible to maintain the 5 minutes time frame. So the final thing, that this is the startup scene in Jordan, where we have incubators, funds, excellence centers. We're working with most of them now. And hopefully we are looking forward to have more and more partnerships and collaborations with regional and international associations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amjad. Quite interesting. A lot of things keeping you busy within the Jordanian startup ecosystem. So all the best, you guys. And again, all boils to the partnership and the collaboration between all these players. So maybe 1 or 2 questions to Amjad before we move back to Maya and then end up the supporters session. So anyone want to have any question for Amjad? If not, then maybe we can park the questions to the Q&A session at the end. Okay, let's do that. So okay, Bugis.
Yeah, sorry. I know, you'll be strict on me in terms of the time, but Amjad, tell me, how does the COVID-19 had played an impact on your initiative? What sort of an impact it had? Why I asked is because, I want to craft a common outcome of vis-a-vis COVID-19 and its overall impact on entrepreneurial activities, be it new business, ongoing businesses, and all the initiatives. So what effects does COVID-19 had in your initiatives, in what you do?
Basically, Maurice, what happened, we share, a lot of the problems that has been created everywhere. We have issues with working environments, the work from home issues, document management. We have issues with currencies where, fintech stuff needs to, step up and try to solve many of the problems that we have. We have issues in businesses, in commerce, etc. What we're trying to do with the startup, with the Tech Aid initiative, is basically see what available or ready to market products that are there that could help solve any of those problems in the various verticals, whether this is in the health vertical, whether in the fintech vertical, whether in the social vertical, in the office and business and document management verticals, and shortlist those possible products and try to work hand in hand with them through a journey to open the markets for them, whether on a governmental and non-governmental aspects in Jordan and in the region. So currently we're trying to leverage some of our startups into countries like Kuwait, for example, right? Like in Qatar. We're trying to open markets for them. We are pushing them through providing mentorship, having subject matter experts, even if they need certain tweaks. We render that support for them through a committee from the ecosystem and stakeholders in Jordan. This is, the impact is almost in the region. Let me be very specific. It's almost, the same. We have the same problems. We believe that we have very good ideas and concepts in Jordan that, prevail to be marketed in the region. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. Thank you again, Amjad. Thanks a lot. So we'll take more questions to you in the general Q&A session. Back to Maya now and Haji from KnowledgeNet. Maya, I think we have some technical issues. So back to you. Let's try to conclude within a few minutes. Maybe just go directly to your value proposition to FinTech. Tell us more about it, and then we can conclude there before we jump into it.
Can I share my screen, Ibrahim, if you can allow me to?
Yeah, please do so, and let's jump to the screen.
Yeah, you have to allow it, please.
We did now.
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
Mustafa.
sure. Okay, so as I was here, I was explaining a little bit how do we see the life cycle of the FinTech. So after the production, what we see, most of the FinTech startups having those problems coming back and having more to do with the support. The scope might change, the maintenance might be an issue, the governmental problems, maybe some rules, some regulation changes. So over here, you can see that the FinTech startups will have to change their products in a way that the clientele will not see the break. They will not witness any problems. They have to be responsive. They have to the service have to continue without any interruption. For this journey, they will need more and more support, but less than before. But they will have to deal with having the proper support at this stage. The last problem that we see in the startups is the technology change. We've been in the technology market for 20 years, and the overall of the market is being the technology is overhauled every so often, and now more than ever is being overhauled faster. The iMore itself, our product itself, has been rewritten 2 or 3 times over the years, over the last 5 years. So we can see that this might be a dead end for the startups, and they might have a lot of problems. After studying all these life cycle, we wanted to help our startup with the product that already is in the market actually, and we are using it in our with our clients. So we designed a technology solution that will help them. If you can see this small sketch of how the product is being usually developed, we can see that some of those all these blue circles are common to all the application of the FinTech. So every product has to have all these blue circles, like auditing, like reporting, like scheduling. All of these are gathered to have are always used every single time you want to develop a new product. Nevertheless, you have a certain amount of specialized and customized functions that you have to develop, and those are the black dots. They are the business functionality of each and every application, and they are different through every product. What we did in our organization is, sorry about that, is to gather all these common functions into one platform that we call iMore. iMore is our flagship, our product that we want to offer now to the startups, so they can be in the market faster, they can be resilient, they can change faster their production whenever it's needed, and whenever the market asks for, whenever the government asks for. You see them changing those microprocesses in a very fast way. This way we can have our FinTech startup on the market in a very secure and very resilient way.
One minute, Maya. 1 minute.
Yes,
try
sure.
to recap.
Yeah. Okay, sure, no problem. This is the iMore. This is our product to the market. We are offering it for the startups for 10% of the equity, and the cost of production of the business functionality will be at cost, so that we have our startups in the market as soon as fast as we can. With this program in place, we have the speed in the first stage, we have the service continuity in the second stage, and we have the resilience, which is the most important for the startup to have. Our product is now in the market for the startups, and we are happy to answer any question for this product.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maya. Thanks a lot. Interesting new approach with the service providers trying to provide platforms, trying to help fintech startups to be agile to the market, right? And then offering this in return of equity. So they're trying to partner with these fintechs more on a partnership models, exactly, and then more on a longer term. So maybe any one pressing question to Maya before we end up this session. We have one or few minutes left before 1 when we jump to the second session of the startup picture. So I can take 1 or 2 questions quickly from the audience. If there is none, then we can park those questions later on to the general question and answer session. That's good then. So now our second session would be the startup pitches. As I mentioned earlier, we have 6 startups pitching today, 3 from Africa and 3 from Asia. I can see Shala has already joined with her nice background from Turkey. Shala is the CEO and founder of MinaPay, a fintech in Turkey. She will be, as you know, ladies first. She will be the first one to pitch today. So the floor is yours, Shala, and take us through your pitch. Maybe do a quick introduction. You have 5 minutes, as you know, for your pitch, and then we have another 5 minutes for Q&A sessions or comments or contributions from the audience. Shala, you're on mute. If you can unmute.
Yeah, thank you, Ibrahim. Will you please pass my presentation?
I will. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I will be presenting you MinaPay in 5 minutes, starting now. Okay, next slide, please. MinaPay is a blockchain-based mobile payment application and a super app. We have designed MinaPay to be a fast and secure payment solution for the unbanked population, to be their gateway to the digital economy. And as well, when I say super app, besides the payment solution, MinaPay has many other features like mini programs within only one application. So there is a small digital marketplace where you can, our users can buy different digital codes, coupons, or products. We also, as we have built the application on blockchain, we have another product where our users can buy, sell, or stake different cryptocurrencies. We have also connected MinaPay to be the payment method on Twitch, the new social media where streamers are collecting donations, and we offer them to collect their donations easily with MinaPay. We also have a social store. This is the new generation marketplace, and on social store, social media influencers can open their own stores and sell their services. We also have different new mini programs under development, as might be seen on this slide. And next slide, please. The business model of MinaPay depends on the commissions. Easily here on the screen, you see that a MinaPay user can buy MinaCash to use for the peer-to-peer or peer-to-merchant transactions. And there are different alternatives to get MinaCash, the stable cryptocurrency of MinaPay, which equals to $1 all the time. They can buy it offline with cash money from our resellers around the region. They can buy it through wire transfer, credit card, as well as different top-up cards of the region. And whenever there's a peer-to-peer or a peer-to-merchant transaction, we get a slight commission, and we do cash out to the merchants. Once the merchant who is selling the goods or services through MinaPay, collecting Mina Cash, wants to cash out the cryptocurrency to fiat currency, we can cash out collected Mina Cash from our bank account to the merchant's bank account. This is the business model of the project. Next slide, please. And a few numbers about MinaPay. First of all, the most important would be we have been ranked as the global top 100 leading fintech innovators by KPMG Global. Last year's report, we have been nominated. We have more than 50,000 users. The good part is that we have a very high retention rate, meaning we are not announcing any campaigns for the users come and download MinaPay, but users are downloading and continuously using the MinaPay features, and we have a good month-over-month active user growth rate. And as well, the final note, during the pandemic, COVID-19, all the world was facing, together with the increasing digital consumptions, we have had the chance with a parallel increase to grow as MinaPay. I think this is the final slide. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks a lot, Shala. Just below 5 minutes. Thanks a lot. Really interesting. And congratulations for MinaPay being the top 100 leading fintech innovator. That's big achievement. Congratulations for that. Very interesting product, super app. So we'll open the floor now for the next 5 minutes for anyone has question to Shala. And if you can notice, I'm pronouncing Shala right, so I'm not very familiar with Turkish names. Thanks to Shala, thanks to my friend Mustafa for teaching me Turkish.
Most welcome.
Okay.
If I can ask a question?
Yes, please.
Shall I go in like this, or is there another one?
Yes, Amjad, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask, what's the focus territory for you now? Where do you operate? Where do you operate now? Which territory is it?
Okay, as the name of the product implies, it's the Middle East and North Africa region, where the percentage of the population is quite high when it comes to the unbanked population. So we have our, I mean, the company is established in Dubai. We have our office over there, and we have the PSP license from Dubai. We have remote employees all over the region, and so the focused region is the MENA region. But we have merchants from all over the world, just like gaming companies who are in the aim of monetizing the gamers all over the Middle East region, are connecting their APIs to MinaPay. They just receive payments with MinaPay, Chinese companies, Korean companies like that, and they are selling their digital goods to Middle East people. So user base is mostly from the MENA region, but the merchants are all over the world.
No, I understand, but you said you have 50,000 plus users, right?
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, so the majority of those users, are they from a specific country, or they are spread across? And
they are spread. They are spread, let me say. There is no such, high percentage company. When I say spread, I think it's only 10 to 15% out of the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. That 15% is coming from Europe, US, or Chinese guys who are trying to, experience the app. But the majority is from Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey as well.
Okay, if I may ask one last question, how do you deal with local challenges in terms of regulations? As an example, let's take Jordan.
Yeah, okay. So As we are based in Dubai, we are more dealing and trying to work in accordance with the rules and regulations of Dubai. We have our lawyers in different countries, and so this is the way.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Amjad. Maybe we can park more questions for the general Q&A session from your end. Let's give the opportunity to the other attendees. We have one question coming from our YouTube attendants. Alpha Bravo is asking you, does MinaPay support any e-commerce, such as Shopify or any e-commerce platform? So is it integrated with any of these?
As a merchant from the region, we have GoCardi or different platforms like that. But we have, just like Shopify, we have WordPress plugin developed. I think that would be the answer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Chala. Thank you so much. I think the time is over. So more questions to you, hopefully, in the general Q&A session after the pictures. Now is the time for our second founder. We have Mubarak Somalia from BizuPay, Ghana. Mubarak, floor is yours.
All right, Ibrahim, thank you. Thank you very much for the intro. So I'm here with my co-founder, Diana Osei. So she's the Chief Marketing Officer. So I'm actually going to let her do the pitch and then I'll handle the Q&A. So Diana, yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So please, 3, 2, 1, go.
Greetings from Bizo Money, where we empower people to create wealth through savings. Our vision is to become Africa's largest community-based digital bank. Globally, 2 billion people are unbanked, pushing families into poverty and making them unable to manage financial emergencies. Although fintech can help to financially include them, it must align with their behaviors and needs. A very typical behavior among the unbanked is group savings. Saving in groups has been practiced for centuries and remains very popular in many developing countries, offering social support and community building. Groups make contributions and give the bulk sum to a different person at the end of every week, or they keep the money in a common fund used to provide small loans to members. Members pay fees, mostly 10% of withdrawal amounts, to their group leaders who secure the money. Members also save individually with Susu collectors, traditional financial intermediaries who collect their savings for 30 days and charge a 3% monthly fee. For many women, this is their only way of accessing finance and realizing their dreams. But these savings schemes are not without problems. They save in boxes under mattresses with Susu collectors and have paper-based records, subjecting the money to theft, mismanagement, and loss in value. Also, the savings amounts do not satisfy their growing demand for credit, and being unable to build a savings and credit history excludes them from the formal financial system. 430 million people in Africa save $301 billion semi-formally every year, and they are in dire need of a solution to address their problems and gain upward social mobility. Bizo Money provides a digital savings and lending platform for the unbanked, allowing them to build an online record history to access credit while preserving their social activities and bonds. The platform is currently on USSD, a GSM-based messaging application that works on feature phones. We offer Bizo Susu for testers to save by setting goals as individuals and as groups using mobile money. Bizo credits for them to access interest-free loans with an application fee to pay for school fees and buy inventory, and Bizo Pay to enable users to pay for products and services from our partners. Our entry market, Ghana, the fastest growing mobile money market in Africa, presents a unique opportunity for us to leverage mobile money. We target 26 million people in the informal sector, such as traders, micro merchants, and farmers. An individual saves on average $45 per month, and a group $192. In year one, we will charge 0.5 to 1% on user savings and share interest with them. With a fintech license in year two, users will pay 0 fees and enjoy higher interest rates. We'll also make a 1 to 3% fee on loans and earn commissions from third-party financial service providers. We've signed NDAs with Absa, Vodafone, and Visa to explore key partnerships and an MOU with Grameen Foundation. Grameen and Vodafone will help us access 12,000 farmers and 3 million subscribers, respectively. We already have 450 users signed up to test the platform and provide feedback. In the next 3 years, we'll conduct a proof of concept test with potential key partners, acquire fintech license to manage our users' finance from millennials, and scale across Ghana with other major mobile money operators, projecting a revenue of $14 million in our third year. Locally, our competitors include microfinance institutions and Susu collectors. Their paper-based records and insufficient credit scoring systems cause inefficiencies and result in increased operational costs. We are relatively cheaper, and our user-friendly USSD interface with mobile money and credit scoring integrations allow us to cost-effectively service our users, also differentiating us from players in other markets. Our team has 16 years experience in software and business development, design thinking, building communities, and partnerships. Mubarak Sumaila is the CEO, our in-house software developer, Kenneth, is the CTO, and I, Diana, am the CMO. We've all stayed, worked, and built products focused on people at the base of the pyramid. Our advisors work in telcos, banks, and nonprofits, and provide us with insights, recommendations, and entry into the financial services space. We are Bizomani. Save up, grow together.
Wow. Thank you so much, Diana. Thanks a lot. Look, when Mubarak told me yesterday that he's gonna finish it in less than 5 minutes, I had my doubts, but I didn't know that he hid a secret weapon, which is you, Diana. So you did it very well. Excellent presentation. Well done. Thank you so much. So we'll open the floor now to questions and answers to Diana and Mubarak. Very interesting. Bizomani, startups in Ghana. I know Mubarak for some time now. We had a lot of chats about his startups, and I was personally as well in my ex-fintech work on savings solutions and services here in Ghana. There is a high need for the informal population in the region. So please, the floor is open. Any questions, please feel free to raise it.
If I may?
Yes, go ahead, Maya.
Mubarak, it's very, very interesting way of helping those people, and very interesting philosophy that you are applying. What are you looking for in this stage now, after having installed and already you have your clientele and you have already your name? What is the next phase, if I may?
Okay, all right. So I think the most important thing for us at this point in Ghana is to be able to secure our fintech license. So the government of Ghana introduced a fintech framework not long ago, and so we're actively raising money so that we could secure that fintech license. The other thing is that we're also working on various partnerships that would help us to be able to scale very quickly. And so these are the two main things that we're sort of currently focused on.
What kind of partnership, if I may?
Yes, so mostly we're partnering with banks and also telcos.
Yeah. Perfect. Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, more questions to Mubarak and Diana.
Ibrahim, if I may.
Yes, Wahida, go ahead.
I just want to know about last mile internet connectivity. The groups you are targeting are in the rural areas, some of them. How are you going about solving this challenge? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I think one thing that we found out was that a lot of them, as we know, are based in marketplaces. So they're actively involved in buying and then basically selling. And so what we do is to go to various marketplaces and then onboard what they have as their group leaders called market queens. So they are the ones that basically manage the entire market. So at the market, you could find up to 300 people selling in one place. And so that's one thing that we do. The other thing is that we also go through various development agencies who work with these savings groups. So there's one that I think we even mentioned in our pitch. There's also this other one called CARE, if you happen to basically know about them. And so what they do is that they actually go around creating these savings groups. And so we work with them to be able to access those groups.
Mubarak, I would urge you very much to think about the last mile internet connectivity. If you get that right, it will be the greatest differentiator you'll ever have. No one will compete with you.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Wahid. I think that's a very valid point. Thanks for your contribution. Last mile, surely for rural areas, semi-urban, will still be a challenge within the region we operate in. So that's key to address. If you would love to have your products have that reach within these regions. Any last question before we move into our next pitch? Okay, great stuff. So we can move into our next pitch. So next on the list is Benjamin Adey from ELF Engineering. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi, Ibrahim.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you too?
Good, good. I had the pleasure to know Benjamin in UNICEF Startup Lab, where I coached the cohort he was participating in. Quite very interesting startup he has. So today we'll have the opportunity to know more about what Benjamin is doing within the startup ecosystem. So 1 second, let me share your slides. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adey Obein Benjamin, and I'm here to present on ELF Engineering. First of all, we work in the hospital, and we identify 3 main problems in the hospital. First is on medical equipment. There are improper management of medical equipment, and obtaining engineering services for medical equipment is very expensive. Also, with rehabilitation in the hospital, there are low quality of mobility devices, unaffordable mobility devices, and a lack of access to mobility devices. For healthcare and access to healthcare, we realize in hospitals in developing countries, especially, there are long queues and lack of access to therapists and doctors. So our solutions begin with providing affordable subscription payments for medical facilities to obtain engineering services. We also provide prompt response for repairs and management of hospital machinery. For healthcare access, we have a web platform, a web application that allows for online appointment booking of therapists and doctors and telemedicine. Next, please. For rehabilitation, we produce mobility devices by using local quality materials that are able to help in standing, walking, and sitting exercises. Our channels, we also sell through our e-commerce platform on our web application. Our channels of marketing are through association meetings like the Ghana Physiotherapy Association meetings, one-on-one meeting with the hospital administrators and therapists, and social media. We make money through our website on our online store by booking commissions and by providing software solutions for healthcare. We also make money through retail, through equipment distributors and toy shops. Through hospitals, we also make money when our mobility devices are prescribed to patients. Next, please. Competitive analysis on our products. Our competitors are able to be at par with us on eco-friendliness. Our brand establishment, quality and cost benefits are unbeatable. With our services, our competitors are skilled and also more experienced in rendering repairs and management of hospital equipment, but we offer a bundle of value that makes it hard to resist. We also have a revenue sharing model that makes hospitals that prescribe our mobility devices get a commission on each prescription. And we have dedicated clientele too. Next, please. So far, we have over 300 bookings in 3 months on our platform. In our pilot stage, we have 15 partnering hospitals for marketing and selling our products. We also won the SDG Hackathon, a nationwide competition last year on SDGs, and part of the top 25 CI2I innovators from Africa, which describes the top 25 scientific businesses from Africa with commercial value. Next, we want to upgrade our web application. We also want to set up a refurbishment center for medical equipment and go into mass production. So we need a bigger space. Next, please. We have cardinal partnerships with Mission Clinic, made up of therapists and doctors who contribute to product development and for rehab and rehabilitation of patients. We also have a partnership with Blue Medical Center, which is headquartered in Romania, for setting up a refurbishment center for medical devices, serving Ghana and West Africa at large. My team is made up of a biomedical engineer, a dynamic computer programmer, Dorothy, pediatric physiotherapist for more than 10 years, Ifa Ferrer, a medical student, Stephen, an occupational therapist. Advisory is made up of Dr. Kaufman, the president of Ghana Society of Biomedical Engineers, Dr. Brew, neuropediatrician, Dr. Nyanti, a lecturer and researcher, published over 5 papers on cerebral palsy, Emily Sheldon, and Prishon. Next. So we asked for $70,000. We know we can invest $15,000 in a maker space, $10,000 in upgrading our application and coming up with a mobile application. And inventory of our devices goes for $25,000 and $20,000 in administrative cost. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Thanks a lot. I think you see, Benjamin doesn't joke, so immediately to the point. You know exactly what he wants. He's raising money. He break it down for you. So any angel investors, any VCs interested in listening to us, very interesting startup from Benjamin, eco-friendly mobility devices. And then I know that Benjamin pivoted during the COVID-19 into the platform for booking and then prescriptions and others. So he had that platform just during the COVID-19 when there was a demand and people were locked down, being able to reach hospitals remotely. So well done, Benjamin. Now opening the floor to questions to him, and I'm sure he will be ready to answer that. Please, anyone interested to raise a question, please do so.
Yeah. Hi, Benjamin. Thank you for the presentation. I'm just curious, could you help me better understand your product portfolio from what's technology, what's services, and then what is the actual kind of physical product?
Okay, so with our services, I'm a biomedical engineer. So I offer biomedical engineering services to hospitals under the same canopy of the company. Then we also produce mobility devices under the same company. Then third, we use tech to expedite the process of sales and access to mobility devices. And in that process, we're able to expand our offerings into providing telemedicine for people who wanted to book appointments and meet doctors, especially during the COVID period. And we realized it's a good idea and it was also fetching. So we maximized that part too.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions to Benjamin? You would like to know more about what he does, about his products, services? If not now, you can.
Ibrahim, I have 2 questions.
Yes, Wahida, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Benjamin, knowing the situation in Africa as far as medical and health is concerned and the corruption, I'm sorry to say that, but providing machinery is a highly competitive game. How are you placed to compete in this market? Because not only are providers involved, even politicians are involved. They want to make a little money out of this. So what are you doing to counter this? Are you working with government or is it only private hospitals?
So far it's been private hospitals. So we maintain hospital equipment at specific interval of times so we can keep them running and also provide prompt responses for repairs. But most of my concentration is on private hospitals. But then because there are very few biomedical engineers in Ghana, we have government hospitals that still call for our services. So though it's very competitive, because we are very few, we still have that kind of an upper hand in giving our services.
What differentiates you? What makes somebody come to you instead of going to somebody else? Is it the payment system? Is it the way people pay? Is it?
Yes, the payment system is one of it. So we have affordable subscriptions. So a hospital that could have spent, a hospital ends up spending about 60% of the price they usually spend on engineering services because they pay something very little every month. So when you pay something very little every month, what happens is at any time you have a fault, we repair it without charging you. and we have how do you call it, a trusted source of income, whilst the hospitals have a trusted source of services.
And so far, you've not had any defaulters, people who are supposed to pay every month and suddenly they stop paying. And
okay, so we don't have people who stop paying, but we have delays in payments. That happens with about half of the hospitals. Some of them delay in payment, especially with the government hospitals too. So, but at the end of the day, they pay it. That's the thing. But we have delays in payments, yes. But because our services is quite niche and we offer a bundle of value with other things, it's hard for our clients to just say bye-bye to us because of the other things we add, like the telemedicine, the booking platform, and all that. So, yes, the challenge is with delay in payment.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Wahida. Thank you, Benjamin. So,
thank you.
If there is no more questions, then we can move to our second pitch. And we have with us Isador from Stabas. Hi, Isador.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Isador. Your voice is a bit low. Maybe can you speak up a bit?
Yeah. Is it better? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a bit better now.
Okay.
So nice to have you with us, and looking forward to your presentation. I'm sharing my screen shortly. Can you see my screen, please?
Not yet. I think it's, yes, good. I can say it now.
Okay. So on 3, 2, 1, please go.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so next page, please. So meet Mina. Mina is the communications manager at GIZ Ghana. Next slide. So this is Mina in the morning at work. As you can see, she's feeling very stressed and experiencing low productivity. Next slide. This is why, before getting to work, Mina had to queue or fight to board the bus. And the seats inside the buses were very terrible. And for that reason, she didn't have a comfortable ride. And there were many delays on the way to make a 30-minute trip, 2 hours. Next slide. So this is Starbus. Mina met Starbus 6 months ago. Please, next slide. What Starbus does for Mina is to connect her to a private bus for her morning and evening ride, instead of using the bus services provided by the informal transportation network. And ever since meeting Starbus 6 months ago, she hasn't dropped. Next slide. This is why. She doesn't have to queue or fight to board the bus. She simply books ahead of time with the app. The bus leaves and arrives on time, so there are no delays. And the buses are very comfortable, providing a very comfortable ride as well. Next slide. So this is how Mina uses the app. She selects her preferred station. From that station, she chooses a schedule that is convenient for her, and she inputs her nearest pickup and drop-off point, and that's it. She has a ride. Next slide. Since launching last year, we have completed more than 900 trips with over 10,000 bookings. 80% of these bookings are from repeat customers. We operate on 4 routes. Next slide. So this is the graphical representation of our performance in terms of trip volume for the past 8 months. During the lockdown, we experienced zero activity because of the COVID-19 lockdown. But right after the lockdown, the demand for safer transportation services helped us to increase trips volume. Next slide. So, given the many opportunities in the transportation and logistics sector that COVID-19 is presenting, we are seizing those opportunities. We have decided to launch a scheduled food delivery service. Scheduled because we aggregate demand from different customers and deliver all of those requests at the same time. This is cheaper for the customer because when 3 or 4 customers are requesting for food delivered to them within the same location, we don't have to charge high for per delivery. We charge much lower. We've also introduced a vehicle rental service. So we have one of the things we've noticed now is the way people are moving is changing with the safety at heart. So people want to travel in different ways. So we have introduced a vehicle rental service that helps people to decide how they want to travel. So if you want to rent a private bus, for example, to transport your employees, you can do that. If you want to rent a private car to move around because you're not comfortable with our bus service, you can also do that. Next slide. So this is the team. I have been in startup for the past 5 years. I built product and scaled customer base of my previous startup, 25,000 plus. Our CTO has worked on many large-scale products. He was part of the team that built the Government of Ghana payroll software. And our business development officer has closed many deals worth millions of dollars. Next slide. We make money by taking parts on the revenue generated by our partners. We take 50% on each trip revenue. Next slide. So the revenue opportunity in Ghana right now is 180 million per year, and that is expected to grow by 10% for the next 3 years. Next slide. So we compete directly with the informal bus transportation network. So these are buses that are provided by private owners, but operate informally. We also compete directly with shared taxis and bus leasing companies. These are companies that buy buses and supply these buses to enterprise customers for long-term use. Next slide. We provide comfort and convenience. So the comfort that our buses provide that cannot match that of the informal bus transportation network or the shared taxis. Because we don't own assets, we are able to charge a very competitive pricing. So customers receive comfort and convenience at a cheaper price. We operate a platform, so it means that we can scale the service beyond the original product offering. And I did explain earlier that because of the COVID-19 opportunities, we're introducing food delivery and rentals, which also increases the value of the platform for customers. Next slide. So this is the next step for us. We have managed to complete more than 900 trips, but there are so much opportunity for us to do more than that. Over the next 12 months, we want to deploy 900 buses on the road and complete about 300,000 trips with a gross merchandise volume of 7.6 million and hoping to catch a revenue of 1.10. Next slide. So we are advised by top-tier executives in Ghana who have experience building startups in Ghana and outside of Ghana. Next slide. So we, like I said, are building a partnership to modernize public transportation in Ghana and beyond. And I'm inviting you to join us to do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Isidore. Very interesting. Reinventing the public transport, creating a super app, agile enough to address the COVID challenges and rather seeing it as an opportunity to introduce diverse services that can increase income and then provide convenience to customers as well. So opening the floor now to questions to Isidore from the attendees here at Zoom and those at YouTube as well. Please feel free to raise your questions.
Isidore, question for you. It sounds like you don't own the vehicles. So whose vehicles are they? How do you kind of control the cleanliness, quality, and ultimately kind of ensure the just the quality of the experience?
So the buses are provided by individuals or companies, and before the buses are allowed to work on the platform, they go through inspection, and the drivers themselves also go through assessment. We subject them to a number of 10 quality indicators.
Got it. Understood. So so outside of the scheduled trips, those buses are then operating normally throughout the remainder of the day?
That's accurate as it stands. The other use case for those buses are for rentals, and which is what we've begun to explore. So outside of the morning and evening schedules, during the day, those buses can be used for rental purposes. like pickups at the airport, transporting shift employees.
Got it. Thank you.
Isidore, I have a question for you, please.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, just a question. How do you compete with other services like Uber Bus, as an example? I know probably it's not yet in your country, but don't you see that eventually happening?
Yeah, I think it's an eventuality. And for us in Ghana, we are first to market, and I'm believing that by the time Uber develops an appetite for this service in Ghana, we would have built stronger relationships with our supply. We would have built an extensive rideshare network on which we can build other value as well, and for which it will become difficult for customers to switch easily. So the quality of the rideshare network and the stronger relationship that we build with our supply network, I think, will give us a stronger advantage against other competitors.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tess. Thank you, Amjad, for the questions and the contributions. Any further question before we move into our next pitch?
Yeah, if I may, it's just a small comment. You see, I mean, the beauty of this is that when people go for innovation to solve small core issue in a simple way, and this is, I think, what Isadora and team has done, which was a simple need in the market, and they have solved it in a very simplified, easy to understand, user-friendly model with innovation. So all those startups that are, or prospective startups, this is the mantra, go simple and solve the small need first, rather than going for a more macro, more complicated issue with more complicated solutions. This is how things are sustained, and then in a phased manner, you go from one step to the other.
Great. Thanks, Mughis, for the motivation message to Isidore and Co.
Thank you for those words.
Okay, great stuff. So next to our next pitch with Arif Bey. Arif is the CEO and founder of HomeOffice, and Arif is going to tell us more about what he's doing with HomeOffice startup. Hi, Arif.
Hi, Ibrahim. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great stuff. We are fine. Glad to have you on board. And I'm sharing my screen in the next few seconds. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So Arif, in 3, 2, 1, please go ahead.
Okay. Hi all. This is Mehmet Arif Bay. I'm a founder of HomeOffice. I'm also founder of BayPM, a successful venture which funds HomeOffice project. BayPM provides low-code application development services for enterprise-grade companies in more than 10 countries. I'm an industrial engineer, and also I hold a master's degree in information systems. Next slide, please. Okay. Before I go into detail, HomeOffice is a solution designed to virtualize the workplace and visualize the teamwork and the time spent on each individual task. Next slide, please. And I want to continue with a quote from a writer. Todd Henry writes about productivity, creativity, and actually how to find a passion for work. The centralization of the workplace is no longer fodder for futurists. It's an everyday reality. And these words were told before the pandemic reality that we all experienced in the last few months. And now actually it's not futuristic at all. We all working with decentralized teams, and it's now everyday reality. We have to find key, ways to keep our decentralized teams productive wherever they are. As creators of this product who works remotely for the last 7 years, we think we know the recipe because we've been working this way, decentralized way, in a few countries with our remote teams for more than 7 years. Next slide, please. So why HomeOffice? home office for employees and much more than for actual employers. The existing products on the market offer similar advantages, like assigning tasks, getting due dates, and tracking the status and the deadlines, that kind of stuff. There is not much in this for the employees that actually they're working on these products. And what we want to do different is actually creating an experience for the employees for creating a virtual office. Almost offers a virtual environment that teams can collaborate, compete, rewarded, and differentiate themselves in a virtual office environment. Next slide, please. How home office works, like with built-in the task manager and the true integrations with the popular task management systems like Jira and Asana that we all use today. Home office visualizes your team's workload. You can view your team's activity and status instantly. Users can track their time by selecting their task they are spending time. Managers have the full visibility of ongoing tasks with the virtual office dashboard. Okay. So what home office offers to their users? Next slide, please. Home office offers like structuring by creating customers and associate them with projects, assign team members to the related projects, manage project resources, tracking by monitoring projects and keep track of their time and each project related task, see how their teams spend their time in real time, improvements by comparing estimated and actual work, predict potential delays, improve the work when it matters, rewarding, score, reward your team with built-in gamification capabilities. Next slide, please. So as Leo Valuta says, Remote is not just a powerful tool, it's a tool of fascinating insights into collaboration, innovation, and the human mind. As a remote-first company, we find working remotely more efficient, productive, and creative than working in an office environment. We have more time for ourselves and also for our customers. We have more time to think at home than spending commuting in the public transportation. So we have more time for imagination and innovation. Our goal is to provide necessary tools for our users for them to implement a similar principles to their work. We guarantee an increase in employee satisfaction and customer satisfaction at the same time. So at the first phase, actually, if we can go back to the previous slide. At the first phase of Office, we'll have two main module, let's say the application or module. They are time manager and task manager. We will be developing adding more modules in the application in the future phases, and they will be an add-on to the add-on to the main modules. These new modules will improve the digital office experience for our users. Next slide, please. Okay. So in the short term, we will be adding these capabilities like gamification, role manager, mobile application, desktop application, Home API for other tools to integrate with Home Office application, and Home Marketplace, which users will be able to get Office templates, character upgrades, collectibles to display at Office tables. So I want to actually talk very briefly about one of the most important milestone for Home Office project. Users will be able to customize their office environment. This is a screenshot from the Home Office actually. For example, for Christmas, they will be able to, for their team's office environment, like the Christmas theme or Halloween theme, whatever it is. And actually the users will be able to collect collectibles and change their office environment, their tables, actually differentiate themselves from the other employees, other team members that are working in the same office. And they will be able to unlock these items with the points that they collect from the gamification capabilities inside the application.
Arif, if you can try to conclude because the time is over.
Okay. So in the long-term vision, this is the last slide actually, with the mass adoption of VR technologies, our goal is to allow members to access the virtual office via virtual headsets. And next slide, please. I'm not gonna stay. Okay, we completed the MVP of the development of the MVP in the May, back in May. Now we are in the alpha release. We are using actually in our internal team. We are currently using this application, and beta release will be in September, and we are planning to go live into November 2020. So what we propose is we will help the companies actually evolve the way they work, and it's time to move from the office to the home office before the virtual reality revolution. That's what we propose. That's it. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Arif. Thanks a lot. Very interesting. And actually, the timing, it's the timing for you guys, right? With the pandemic and all the remote work happening. So what we've been working on for the past few years, I think now is the right time. It's the right time for it. So all the best. Any questions, guys, to Arif?
Arif, if I may, I just have a question. Have you thought about applying this to the school education scenario that we have right now to help us manage our children and teachers using this application?
The main goal, actually, the main modules of this application is task and time management. So what we are focusing is assigning task and actually the track the related time related with this task. So this is an office environment. Can you do that? If you are educating the kids in that planned way with the daily tasks, why not? You can create a classroom inside the application and assign their task, and they track their time in real time. Could be. I will think about that.
Good.
So
Thank you.
the first goal is actually the small and medium enterprise, like the companies working like us.
You would really help a lot of people if you did that.
Yeah, I will think about that. It's a good idea, actually. Well,
okay.
Why not a classroom instead of office? Yes.
Yeah.
Great, thanks for the suggestion, Wahida. Yes, Amjad?
Yeah, I have a question for Mohammed, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mohammed, sort of the virtual office is a concept that everybody is heading towards now, especially with the introduction of technologies, that will allow you to use VR. The question remains, or first I need to ask a question. I don't know if I missed it through your presentation, but I just want to pop it out on the presentation. For me, I do believe that to have the virtual office more productive is basically by being able to integrate with the full business cycle, where we can work on documents, share documents, etc., within the same platform in a VR concept. Again, you may have mentioned this, but I missed it. But I just want to say, are your vision to integrate with other platforms that offer this? Let's say the document management, access to data, access to files. Just a question. I think that would give an extra trajectory for the VR office.
Okay. So as I said, there is tools doing that, right? There is project management tools, task management tools. What we are trying to do different is actually the adding in the employee engagement into a product with the the gamification and rewarding with the rewarding principles into the application. So our first goal is actually creating a virtual environment that employees and team members can engage inside an office, like rewarding themselves, like congratulating someone for a good work. Actually, by doing that, adding more points to their profiles, which they can spend, is actually another phase that we developing another product, the kind of e-commerce solution, a loyalty application that they can convert these points into the real vouchers or the gifts or maybe real money if we can pay, convert these points to real money and actually add to their accounts. So we are trying to reward the good work on the application. In the long term, yes, why not? Because we are trying to put contract management into this application in the long term. The CRM, I show some like vacation management. I show some additional modules, and that type of integrations will be necessary, as you say, with the other like document management or contract management tools to manage everything in a digital office experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Any last question before we move to our last pitch for today?
Yeah, Mohammed, if I may, where are you operating now, and are you trying to move to more global area?
We are based in London and Istanbul, and our like main actually the focused markets are London, in the United Kingdom, and Turkey currently.
Yeah, and I don't know if I missed that, but how many do you have subscribers now?
It's a bit like, as I say, it's in alpha release, which we are testing the product right now in our team. Like my other startup is BPM, service provider company. And the beta release will be in September. And we are going live in November 2020. Currently, we don't have a subscriber, very new product.
Perfect. Okay.
So, as I may say, I'm funding this company as BPM in the seed phase, and we are looking for tractions after November, and we will be seeking for funding after 2020. Let's say second quarter of 2021.
Perfect. And what about your? So you already developed your MVPs, and
yes, alpha stage. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think Haitham has already joined.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mahdi Shahimi. I'm on behalf of Mr. Haitham Adbo.
Okay, hi Mahdi.
He couldn't attend.
No problem, no problem. So I'm just sharing my screen for the presentation. So the last pick for today is Haitham Adbo, and then we have Mahdi now on behalf of him, presenting for innovative, I think, green technology, IGT, which is a green energy startup. So a minute.
Shall I share my screen?
No, I'm fine. Can you see it, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. You have 5 minutes, Mahdi, and then another 5 minutes for Q&A. So your 5 minutes starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Mahdi Shahimi on behalf of Haitham Adbo, the founder and CEO of Automated Green Technology, IGT, where we look for a greener energy for a greener life. According to the UNHCR, there is more than 13.5 million people living in informal settlements in the MENA region. And these people suffer lack from the basic needs of life, like energy and water. Okay, our region here is importing 70% of its needs of food. And however, it is capable of exporting. Actually, if it was utilized properly, it can export to the whole MENA region. So that's motivated us to start building innovative solutions for the energy problems, agriculture, and water treatment. Our first solution is for solar water heaters. We covered the most worldwide known problem for solar water heaters, which is overheating. That makes them stop being efficient. Our solution is ProShield. It's based on IoT and artificial intelligence to utilize the required energy and water utilization of the solar water heaters. We did that with our partners in Egypt. Then we integrated our technology into the poultry houses, where we provided solar water heating for heating the poultry houses. Next, we implemented a solar-based automated aquaponics system that is fully powered by solar energy in terms of energy demands and water heating for fish growing. We did that implementation in Ba'ali in Lebanon. And the people in informal settlements also are suffering from water issues. The quality of water requires treatment, and that's why we implemented our next unit, which is a water treatment unit with the filtration and solar energy. Okay. And we implemented a mobile house where we did in Switzerland for sustainable gardening, vertical gardening, and solar water heating. We did that with our partner CWES in Switzerland. Also, we just implemented a few months ago a modular wastewater treatment unit in South Lebanon for farmers that provides 13,000 liters of water suitable for irrigation. Yes. Next slide, please. Okay, and our latest system is the automated hydroponics system, which is suitable for urban areas and for its sizing that makes space utilization in order for it's only 2 square meters size, and it can provide up to 250 crops every month. And if we can play the video, that's where we are looking for such cities with innovative technologies like AI and including vertical gardening and agriculture, our sustainable solutions, in addition to water treatment units and and solar water heaters to provide sustainable solutions for our region. That's it. Thank you.
Great, excellent, very exciting. Thanks, Mahdi. Well done to you, to Haytham, and to all the team. Very exciting seeing hydroponics. I mean, solar-powered hydroponics. I know that now with pandemics, people talk about food securities, especially in the regions we're talking about, Asia, Africa, and always the problem with these solutions, it comes to cost-effective, modular solutions, and I think these what you guys are working on to deliver. So I know a couple of guys started to doing this, but again, it boils up to problems in the design, problems and how to implement it. So I think with such solutions, we can make life easier. So well done again. So questions to Mahdi, please. The floor is open. Raise any questions you might have on what he presented.
Thank you for sharing. Wonderful pitch. I'm just curious, kind of the cost for the different products, and then which is the best seller, or what has kind of the most market share so far.
Yeah, actually, we proposed our most of our products to the Ministry of Industry in Lebanon. We had like 4 meetings, and we are now trying to collaborate with UNIDO to fund our projects. Well, the water treatment systems, for example, they come in 2 scales. There is a small scale for farmers, okay, and the large scale, which is for huge lands that needs much support from the government or international NGOs. And the aquaponics and hydroponics units are suitable for individuals, in addition to people willing to invest. The unit is around $2,000 and is suitable for a personal use. And if you want to invest in that, you in a 4x5 space, for example, you can produce more than 2,000 crops monthly. So you can make that as an investment. And the poultry houses, for example, we saved like more than 60% of the cost that farmers are actually using for heating the poultry houses. they are heating water with electricity. So we did that using solar water heater, and in addition to some water mixing and some techniques. So that we are working, we always consider being modular in our solutions, being scalable for small and large scales. In addition to being cost effective, we know that the situation is tough on people now. So we always consider that when we design our systems. As he just mentioned the hydroponics and aquaponics units, we found that the main issue is space utilization. So that's the main idea behind our design, is to make the best out of the space available. And our team consists of agricultural engineers, PhD, some people with PhD in environment and material sciences. We have some automation guys doing master's degrees also. So our team is diverse, and we brainstormed until we found the design that best suits people needs, in addition to being cost effective. And currently we start with the hydroponics system. We did our first implementation like 2 weeks ago, and we are currently building 5 more units for people investing.
Awesome to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mehdi. I think we're just on time. It's 2 o'clock. We've done with all the pitches. So now we are opening the floor for general questions and answers. Actually, we debated earlier, shall we have this summit for 2 or 3 hours? Then we said the program gonna finish in 2 hours. Then we can open the floor. We might need 1 hour less. It depends on the contributions, the comments, questions, answers. So we might finish earlier than planned. That's fine. So we can allow people to go back to their normal routine. So now opening the floor. Any questions? Any contribution? Any comment? Please welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a question for Mehdi. What you're doing is really fascinating. We need that in our country, and in many countries. I can see that. I don't know how lucky you will be in Lebanon with the current situation. My questions: did you have a patent? Did you register all of these products under your names, or what? How are you exactly dealing with that?
Well, not all of them. Our first product, the Pro Shield, which is the first solution worldwide to solve the heating problem in solar water heaters. Yes, it is patented and under our name at IGT with Haytham. And the other systems, they are not patented because they are utilized. They are more about designing new solutions that combine different technologies in an innovative manner. We thought about being practical actually to build our systems, and we didn't consider patenting everything possible.
Sorry about that. All right. So, but let me ask that. What exactly do you want, or do you need from? Like, for instance, we are a production of technology production company. What exactly would you be willing to have, or what do you need? Actually, how can we help you? Actually, this is the question. My question.
Yes. Well, actually, we need funding. In addition to, we look for strategic partnerships. We have partners in Egypt, in Switzerland, and in Jordan. And in the country here, we are collaborating with the Ministry of Industry, as we mentioned. In Lebanon, as you mentioned, we are doing our best here in Lebanon, but we always look for having strategic partnerships to implement our systems in the region, not just in Lebanon. So it's more about the exposure and the funding to implement further units.
But you're not present now online or an application, something like that. You don't have that.
No, we have our website, but no, without an application.
Sure. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay, great stuff. So as I mentioned, questions can be in general to any one of the earlier startup pitches, the startup supporters, to the startup confederation. So now we are opening the floor to any contribution from anyone that would like to raise it up based on what we've heard today from the startup confederation, startup supporters, and the different 6 pitches, 3 from Asia, 3 from Africa, that we had. Actually very interesting very passionate founders we had this in this event. So floor is yours, please. Raise your question, have your comment, have your contribution. We are all ears for you. Okay, maybe we can also say, if there is no specific questions, maybe anyone can give us his feedback about how did he find the event of today, any learnings, any improvements, suggestions for future ones. Would love also to hear your comments as well.
But I have a question actually.
Yeah, Mahdi, please go ahead.
On the possible opportunities, what are you offering actually as opportunities to support the initiatives that's just pitched?
Okay, so for now we are trying. So we, I think maybe you've missed the first part. We've introduced the startup confederation that we founded, and it's from community from around the world. So trying to meet startup supporters with founders. So giving the visibility, as you said, the approach, the exposure to founders like you guys with that ecosystem that can evolve later on into business development opportunities, that may be funding, that can be any kind of support. So this is the first online startup summit that we are having. So in the future, it can be more our structured way of support. But for now, it's still informal. It's still getting the hype and the vibe of this community that we've established.
Yes.
If I may, I will be more specific to answer Mahdi's question. For us at KnowledgeNet, we are offering our system for a very affordable equation. Whomever is in need for a new system like yourself, actually, we have a proposition. Maybe we can talk about it later on. I have so many ideas to help you guys. But for anybody else who has his own platform to operate or a need for advancement, maybe we can offer them more than one suggestion to have their application and their product on online and on the market for equity, not for cash. And all of these, so we can discuss this maybe case by case later on. This is our proposition for the participants, actually.
Very interesting, actually.
Yeah, so that's, I think, maybe yeah, Mahdi, you've missed as well Maya's presentation. So she's one of the startup supporters that presented today about their offering to fintech startups, so providing their platform in terms of returns of equity from those fintech startups. So we're trying to make this available to you guys, whoever is interested. So post this event and get in touch with us or directly with the startup supporters to explore further business development with them, right? And see how can this be mutual benefit to both parties.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry for not attending the beginning of the presentation.
No problem.
Haitham was about to attend, but he had an urgent meeting, so
Yeah, true. I've seen him logged in, then he logged out. Yes, true.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Okay, great stuff. Maybe Seth, from your end, how did you find the event today? Maybe some comments and suggestions from your end for
so certainly enjoyed the event. Thank you so much for the pitches. Great pitches. It's always interesting to see different stages of life on kind of the product spectrum. And just a little context on GSV Labs and how we evaluate companies. We see thousands of startups a year, and the 4 to 5 minute windows it's challenging to get too deep on anything. And so our structure and the way we evaluate is based on people, product, potential, and probability. And I think it's just helpful to kind of bring up in terms of us as an organization. That's how, again, if you see 1,000 companies, how do you kind of differentiate and really kind of pick favorites or whatever it is. And so that's our criteria. And just helpful to keep in mind kind of whenever pitching. The more that you can have a structure that answers kind of these major buckets, it certainly kind of helps and goes a long way. But the pitches were great. We are an organization that aims to support and provide resources to help accelerate the growth of startups. And it's great to see kind of the Startup Confederation, really taking a similar approach in terms of providing the resources for early stage companies to reach their potential faster, hopefully.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot, Seth. Amjad, from your end, Amjad, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm with you, Brian.
Yes. Okay. So maybe last comment from your end about how did you find the event? Your last words.
To be honest, I'm really happy. I'm part of this first event. The way we look at it as Startup Joe Council, probably we're not a fund, so we're not into that sphere. But the way we look at it is, finding ways of collaboration between all the ecosystem on this event, and hopefully more in the future, on how to collaborate together, probably opening doors in Jordan, or to work with certain startups if there are synergies, etc. Eventually with one objective is to provide more opportunities to everyone. If I could see couple of pitches where I can really relate to a few of our startups here in Jordan, and that can open a door for I don't know, hopefully
maybe new markets for both startups from here and there, so across the continent. True.
Yeah, exactly.
I fully agree.
I'm thankful that I'm part of this. It's great, hearing those pitches and hearing other supporters. It's good to know you guys. All the best.
Thank you so much, Amjad. Also, we're glad to have you with us. Maya, last words from your end.
I'm really happy for this summit I attended. I'm really impressed of a lot of those pitches. I'm looking forward to have more communication and more ways to help those startups. And please don't hesitate to contact me for any question if anytime.
Sure. Thanks, Maya. We're also glad to have you with us. Maybe last words from our Startup Confederation members, Tori and Wahida. Any last words from your end?
I think what was said about structure is important, because for me, where I'm sitting right now, it's hard to evaluate the different startups, because everyone was telling their own story in their own way. So if there's some sort of structure, then that would be quite helpful. And I would want to know, how many startups are we targeting? How many of these events are we going to have?
Okay, thanks a lot for the feedback, Wahida. I think it resonates along with what Seth mentioned as well, as this is the first online. So we hope that in the second summit we haven't decided yet on when the second one would be, or how many we'll have in a year, how many target startups. So I think for example, we targeted to have 10, but at the end it boiled us to be more 6 shortlisted startups. So we are yet to finalize a more structured way in the following summits, and taking all your comments into consideration. So thanks for that. Tori, from your end, any final words?
Thank you very much. I want to thank Ibrahim and also Mustafa for this initiative. I think that is very interesting. It's a good starting point, and we have seen many startups showing their idea and their initiative. I think it is interesting, but we need to go further to understand more the business model, the risk assessment, and also how they create revenue. I've seen many initial interest, and I think that apart from this presentation, it's a good starting point to continue the discussions, to continue to learn more about the different initiatives, so that we can go further in terms of how we can get involved in the development of a different project. I want to thank everybody for the insight in the different solutions that have been provided during this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tori. Mughis, from your end.
Just 2 minutes. I mean, not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Guys, I mean, this is a very, very good start, and it appears this summit has a lot of potential. And what I want to suggest is that we can also have a country-wise version of this summit as well. We can have an Oman version where only Omani entrepreneurs can come in. We can have a Saudi version where only Saudi Arabian, country-wise, Malaysians, Singaporeans, Pakistanis, Indians, a country-wise version would not only address country-wise need and will give more opportunities from up-and-coming entrepreneurs and startups from the country phase as well, but also would help me, bring in folks like Seth and Roberto in a much more localized setting to synergize with them and deliver in a very suitable, specified, dedicated models, but they are already delivering in United States and other similar areas. So I think the next simultaneous phase could be, I can offer that, we can do an Oman version of this summit, 2020 Oman Entrepreneurship Summit. We have entities who would join hands, and, this can go even bigger at a national level.
Thanks for the suggestion, Mugiz. You are part of Startup Confederation, so feel free to franchise this within your local market. No problem at all. I think that would be helpful, and as you said, it gives more localized content within the market that you guys are in. And not to mention, to thank again everyone who attended this, our guys at the YouTube. Thanks a lot for your questions. Not to forget the founders and the startups. Thanks, Shala. Thanks, Arif. Thanks, Isador. Thanks, Diana and Mubarak. Not to forget anyone. Thanks, Isador. And thanks, Benjamin. So thanks for all the 6 of you. It was great pitches. Thanks a lot. And we hope to see you again in future events. Now I'll hand over to my colleague, Mustafa. Mustafa, to you.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to all from us to you as well, Ibrahim, because it was a wonderful managing event that I say you are a talent, in this kind of issues. And now we found this talent from Ghana. Welcome to board, and you make this organization together with Mugiz and you and me from starting to this point. Now we are very happy, I think, to know each other more and more. And then startup means that as name startup. So as a kind of this, sometimes startups suppose that if anything happens, suddenly we need something or suddenly we need a help. No, this is a kind of period or session or a time scale that we know each other more. We know more familiar each other about startups as startup supporters and startup side as well. The startups can be scale level, even from not scale level, just MVP level. We know each other more, and this digitalization issues about countries, we like to know more and more. Maybe we help each other from one country to another country to which idea or which expectation or which digital gap needs and which demands very important as the social expectation or digital expectations from the startups or fintechs or such kind of people as we are. So from my side, I am very happy to see you. I was in the infrastructure side, sometime I'm shifting to the presentation, shifting to the all view, shifting to the one speaker view. If any mistake from my side, I apologize. But it was also very nice to see you, hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mustafa. Thanks for your contribution. You're behind the scenes, so all your efforts were really appreciated. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone, and appreciate your presence and hope to see you soon in an upcoming event. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon again.